our hadith, there's some really, really amazing things that we hear about tiny actions. So for example, the Prophet said, do not belittle any deed, even your brother pouring water for you, right? So when it comes to us, the way we look at things is that even small things can be huge. What do these tiny, tiny things do for us in the long run? What kind of impact does it have? I don't know if you can see it, but there's this thing in my hand, right? Like that thing here that you can see. It's tiny. It's like the size of what we call a mustard seed. With the mustard seed, it's actually something very interesting from a hadith perspective. A specific hadith where the Prophet ﷺ talks about if someone has a mustard seed of arrogance, then they would enter Jahannam. And if someone has a iman the size of a mustard seed, they would enter Jannah. This shows us that iman within our heart and arrogance within our heart can actually be very, very powerful for our destinies overall. It might seem like such a tiny, tiny thing. This tiny thing, if it's iman, can get you into Jannah, right? And if it's arrogance, then it will get you into problems, right? So it's amazing that so much is based on so little. So the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of the time when we're talking about things, we talk so much about mindset. We talk so much about paradigms. We talk about the world that we construct with our view and with the language that we use. And a lot of this is to do with your heart and your mind and your internal side. And this is critically important. But I also want to say that alongside the mindset stuff, the whole objective of the mindset to be shifted is actually for you to take action. So it's not about, okay, you know what, before I had this mindset, now, alhamdulillah, through the program, I've improved my mindset and my mindset is this. The point is that now that your mindset is this, it should actually result in action that is this. And you cannot have this iman in your heart and it does not come out as action. If you have the iman, it has to come out as an action. And this is why the scholars, they would say that iman is not just the belief in the heart, it's the belief in the heart, it's the profession on the tongue, and it's the action on the limbs. And this is the same reason why whenever you read the Quran, you will see وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. So it's always the people that believe and those that do righteous deeds, or those that do good deeds. So why is this? How come like Allah doesn't just stick to وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا? Like he doesn't just stick to aminu all the time. It's always there's this notion of good deeds. Although we're focusing massively on mindset, and I think when it comes to confidence, when it comes to communication, when it comes to relationships, the mindset is so huge. And this is why I'm always talking about that. I'm always thinking about paradigms, always. That's my first point of transformation for anyone I'm trying to help. At the same time, we have to take action. And the best type of action you can take is the regular actions, the habits. And this is why the Prophet said that the deeds loved by Allah the most are the ones that are done regularly, even if they are small. So what should happen is that when you go through a shift in your paradigm, you should, from that moment, decide that I'm going to take an action. And it could be an action that is very small. It doesn't matter. Like Allah didn't say, oh, yes, regular actions are big. Even if the deeds are small, they still be loved by Allah because they're regular. So when you make this paradigm shift, it should be, you know what? I have to take action. What action can I do regularly that will actually transform me to where I want to get to? Because if you just leave it at the paradigm, like imagine someone becomes Muslim, they will actually say that, you know what? I was Muslim for a long time, like in belief, but I didn't actually take action. I didn't pray. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And the difference is once you actually embrace it fully and take action, like that's a natural occurrence. So in the same way, I'm saying you should be thinking today about what are the habits that I need to take on. And remember, there's this thing called the spiral of action, which means that you take one action, which is very small, and that one action, because of momentum and you doing it over and over again, it leads to something bigger and something bigger and something bigger. And so you want to do it like that, where you do a very little action, and then that just kind of spirals into something bigger and bigger and bigger. The way to do that is to make a firm decision and a firm commitment with yourself. If you can shift your paradigm and do the action and build these habits, then transformation is a given. It will definitely happen, inshallah. But if you just stick to listening to this like a YouTube show, and the key to this is actually shifting your mindset, taking the action, and then when you take that action, the key is to then put your trust in Allah. Why? Because once you take an action, that's kind of where you stop. The results are all from Allah. It's very interesting because I've had this MacBook that I've got right now. I've had it for like 9 years or something, right? Massive amount of time for me to have one laptop which I work for. And I've actually tried to order a laptop. Alhamdulillah, I have the money to do it. I know which one I want. I know all of that. You know what I did? About 4 or 5 days ago, I tried to order it. I went online, I tried to order it. What happened? Nothing. I couldn't order it. Like literally, I made this istikhara and I was like, okay, I'm going to order it. I went online, I tried to order it, it didn't work. Like I had the money, like I said, I had the money, I had the specification, I had everything, it just didn't work. So I left it. Next day, again, I went on, I tried, left it. And then I was saying to my family, I'm like, this just shows you, yeah, that you think you have power, you think you have money, you think, yeah, you can't do nothing. You cannot do anything, yeah? You need Allah for it all. And when you take that action, of course, you want to make sure that you do it sincerely for the sake of Allah, and you should get empowered by Allah. Like if you got that intention that I'm doing this thing for Allah, that should empower you in doing it. But once you do it, at that point, that's it. It's finished. It's over. It's like, I did it. Now Allah is with you. Get the paradigm shift right. Think about the actions that you need to take. Put your trust in Allah and do those actions. And inshallah, you will see massive results. Da 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 da